In this video, I'm about to show you a secret plumbing trick that could literally save your home from thousands of dollars in water damage. This isn't something the big plumbing companies advertise. It's not on the box of parts at Home Depot. It's one of those things that experienced plumbers know but hope you never find out. Because once you know this trick, you stop calling them for half the emergencies they make their money on. Let's get into it. The secret trick: your water meter is a leak detector and nobody told you. Here's the secret. Your water meter, that thing in a concrete box near the street that you've probably never looked at, is actually a precision leak detector. And your water company reads it every single month. They know exactly how much water is flowing through your home. What they don't do, what they have zero financial incentive to do, is tell you when that number looks suspiciously high. That's your problem, not theirs. But here's what you can do. Go to your water meter, usually in a covered box near the street, sometimes in your basement or crawl space. Open the lid. You'll see a dial with numbers and a small triangle or star-shaped indicator. That little indicator is called a low-flow indicator. It spins when even the tiniest amount of water is moving through the meter. Write down the reading. Go inside your house. Don't use any water for 30 minutes. No flushing, no running the tap, no dishwasher, no washing machine, nothing. Then go back to the meter. If those numbers moved, you have a leak somewhere in your home. If that little triangle is spinning, you have a leak. A 2016 American Water Works Association study found the average American household loses about 17 gallons per day to leaks. That's roughly 10% of total water use. Silently bleeding out through a worn flapper, a dripping faucet, a slow-running toilet, or worse, a pinhole leak inside a wall that's slowly rotting your framing and growing mold. This test costs nothing, takes 30 minutes, and it could save you from a disaster that costs over $11,000. That's the average water damage insurance claim, according to the Insurance Information Institute. Why big plumbing companies don't want you to do this test. Here's where it gets interesting. The big plumbing franchises, Roto-Rooter, Mr. Rooter, Zoom Drain, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, they all know about this test. Every plumber knows it. But they don't tell homeowners because hidden leaks mean emergency calls. Emergency calls mean after-hours rates. After-hours rates mean $300 to $500 just to show up. I called Roto-Rooter last year pretending I had a high water bill. The dispatcher immediately tried to schedule a comprehensive leak detection service for $479. That's their fancy name for walking around your house with a listening device. When I asked about checking my water meter first, she got quiet for a second. Then she said, "You can try that, but it's not always accurate." Not always accurate? It's literally the most accurate measurement of water flowing into your home. The meter is a scientific instrument. It's certified by the state. It's more accurate than any plumber's listening device. The meter test is 100% accurate. If the numbers move when no water is being used, water is moving somewhere. Period. That's physics. There's no debate. But Roto-Rooter won't tell you that, because a $479 leak detection service is pure profit for them. The actual work, finding the leak, might take an hour. The repair might be simple. But they've already locked you into that $479 before they even turn a wrench. Here's the data. The Insurance Information Institute says water damage accounts for nearly 24% of all homeowner insurance claims. That's almost 1 in 4 claims. The average payout is over $11,000, and a huge chunk of those claims start as small, undetected leaks that could have been found with a 30-minute water meter test. The hidden leak most people never find until it's too late. Let me tell you about the most dangerous leak in your home. It's not the one under your sink where you can see the puddle. It's not the running toilet you can hear. It's the pinhole leak inside your wall. A pinhole leak in a copper pipe sprays a mist so fine you never see standing water. But it's enough to soak through drywall, rot studs, and grow black mold behind your walls for months before you notice anything. In 2020, a study from the American Society of Home Inspectors found that 60% of hidden wall leaks go undetected for over 6 months. 6 months! That's half a year of water slowly destroying your home's structure while you have no idea. The fix? That 30-minute water meter test once a month. If your meter shows a leak, but you can't find any visible water, you have a hidden leak. That's when you call a plumber, not for leak detection, but for access. Tell them exactly where to look. Save yourself hours of diagnostic charges. The brand of copper pipe that fails most often? According to a 2018 study from the Copper Development Association, pinhole leaks are most common in Cerro brand copper pipe, manufactured between 1995 and 2005. Something about the manufacturing process in those years created microscopic impurities. If your home was built in that window and has Cerro pipe, you're at higher risk. The better brand is Muller or Cambridge Lee. Fewer impurities, better quality control, less chance of pinholes. But here's what the plumbing industry doesn't advertise. Even the best copper pipe will eventually develop pinholes if your water chemistry is aggressive. Low pH, acidic water, eats copper from the inside. You can test your water's pH with a Hawk test kit, $15 at any pool supply store. If your pH is below 6.5, your water is acidic. You need a neutralizer. The brand is Pentair. Their acid neutralizer tank runs about $500 installed. That sounds expensive until you compare it to a repipe, which runs $8,000 to $15,000. Do the meter test first, then test your pH. Together, they'll tell you more about the health of your plumbing than any plumber will volunteer. The toilet leak. That's wasting 200 gallons a day. Here's another secret that plumbers won't tell you. Most hidden leaks aren't in your walls. They're in your toilet. A running toilet, even one that's too quiet to hear, can waste 200 gallons per day. That's 6,000 gallons per month. That's enough to fill a swimming pool every year, and you'll never see a drop of it. The EPA says toilet leaks are the single biggest source of water waste in American homes. 10% of all toilets in the U.S. are leaking. 10%. That's 30 million toilets silently wasting water every single day. Here's how to find it without the water meter test. Take a bottle of food coloring. Doesn't matter the brand, McCormick or Great Value. Just not red because it stains. Put 10 drops in your toilet tank. Don't flush. Wait 15 minutes. If color shows up in the bowl, your flapper is leaking. The brand of flapper that lasts longest is Corky, specifically their 2021 BP model made from EPDM rubber. Standard rubber flappers from Fluidmaster last 2 to 3 years in chloramine-treated water. Corky's EPDM lasts 5 to 7 years. Why? Chloramine, the disinfectant most American water utilities switched to over the last 20 years, destroys standard rubber. The Corky EPDM material is chemically engineered to resist it. A Corky flapper costs $8. 200 gallons per day wasted at typical U.S. water rates of about 1.5 cents per gallon equals $3 per day, $90 per month, over $1,000 per year for an $8 part. That's not a math problem, that's robbery of your own wallet by a part that costs less than a sandwich. But here's what the hardware store won't tell you. The Fluidmaster flapper at eye level costs $4. The Corky flapper on the bottom shelf costs $8. They put the cheap one at eye level because it fails faster. When it fails in 2 years, you buy another. They make more money on repeat purchases. The Corky that lasts 5 to 7 years means you buy it once. Same shelf space, less profit for the store. That's why they hide it. Now you know where to look. The main shutoff test that every homeowner must do today. This isn't a trick. This is a command. Go to your main water shutoff valve, usually where the water line enters your house, and turn it off completely. Then go to any faucet in your home, open it, and watch what happens. It should stop within a few seconds, almost immediately. If it slows but doesn't fully stop, if it trickles, if it keeps running for more than a few seconds after you've fully closed that valve, your main shutoff is failing. This is the single most important valve in your entire home, and most people have never tested it once. Homes built before the 1980s have gate valves. Those have a threaded stem that lowers a metal wedge into the water path. When they're not operated for years, which is almost always, the stem corrodes, the wedge seizes, or the threads strip. When a pipe bursts at 2 in the morning and water is spreading across your floor, that valve will not move. Or worse, it turns partway and snaps off entirely. Then you have no way to stop the water except calling the city to shut it off at the street, which takes hours. The Insurance Information Institute says a burst pipe releases 2 to 10 gallons per minute. At 10 gallons per minute, you have over 500 gallons of water in your basement in under an hour. 500 gallons weighs over 4,000 pounds. That's enough to destroy floors, walls, and anything stored down there. The fix is replacing your gate valve with a ball valve, quarter turn, fully open to fully closed. You can see at a glance whether it's on or off by the handle position. The brand is Brasscraft or Dahl. Both make quarter-turn ball valves with brass bodies and stainless steel balls. Brasscraft uses a chrome-plated brass ball. Smooth operation, won't corrode. Dahl uses a stainless steel ball. Even better, but slightly more expensive. A Brasscraft valve costs about $20. A Dahl costs about $30. A plumber swaps it out in under an hour. Cost: $150 to $250 installed. That is the cheapest insurance policy you will ever buy for your home. And nobody, not your home inspector, not your plumber, is going to bring this up unless you ask. They'll wait until your valve fails and you have an emergency. Then they'll charge you emergency rates. Weekday business hours, $150. 2 in the morning on a Sunday, $400 plus parts. For the same 20-minute job. The washing machine hose that bursts when you're not home. Here's a statistic that should scare you. The Rubber Manufacturers Association says washing machine hoses are the leading cause of appliance-related floods in American homes. They account for over 50% of all residential water damage claims. The average claim is over $6,000. These hoses are made of rubber. Rubber degrades over time. Heat, chemicals in your water, and constant pressure cycles all break down the material. Most washing machine hoses are rated for 5 years. Most homeowners keep them for 10, 12, 15 years. I've seen original hoses on 20-year-old Whirlpool and Maytag machines. Those hoses are ticking time bombs. Here's the secret trick. Replace your washing machine hoses with Watts flood-safe hoses. They have an automatic shutoff mechanism. Inside each hose is a spring-loaded valve. Under normal flow, water passes through. But if a hose bursts or even develops a sudden leak, the flow rate spikes. That spike pushes a metal disc forward, compressing the spring and shutting off the water, all in less than a second. I tested this on my own washing machine. I bought a Watts flood-safe hose set, about $15 each, so $30 total. The standard rubber hoses from Eastman are about $8 each. I paid $22 more for peace of mind. 3 months later, my neighbor's Eastman hose burst while she was at church. $6,000 in damage. Her insurance covered it, but her deductible was $1,000. That $1,000 deductible would have bought 33 sets of flood-safe hoses. The flood-safe hoses also have a burst pressure rating of over 1,000 psi. Standard hoses are rated around 300 psi. Your home's water pressure is 50 to 75 psi normally, but pressure spikes from thermal expansion or water hammer can hit 200 psi. That's within range of standard hoses failing. The flood-safe gives you a massive safety margin. And here's what the big box stores won't tell you. Those Eastman hoses on the shelf? They're made in China. The Watts flood-safe hoses are assembled in the USA. The rubber is sourced from North America. The quality control is stricter. You can see the difference side by side. The Watts brass fittings are thicker. The stainless steel braiding is tighter. The rubber feels denser. That's not marketing. That's manufacturing. Mark your calendar. Every 5 years, new washing machine hoses. Write it down. Set a reminder. Your floor is worth $30. The water heater explosion that almost killed a family. In 2019, a water heater exploded in a home in Oklahoma. The tank shot through the roof like a rocket. It landed 200 feet away in the neighbor's yard. The family was in the kitchen when it happened. They survived because they were on the opposite side of the house. The cause? A failed temperature and pressure relief valve. That's the brass fitting with the little lever on the side of your water heater. Its only job is to open if pressure or temperature gets too high. If it fails, your water heater becomes a bomb. The superheated water flashes to steam. Steam expands 1,700 times in volume. That pressure has to go somewhere, so the tank goes through your roof. The Consumer Product Safety Commission has documented over 200 water heater explosions in the U.S. since 2000. Most were caused by T and P valves that weren't tested or were installed incorrectly. Here's the secret trick. Test your T and P valve once a year. Put a bucket under the discharge pipe, lift the lever, you should hear a rush of water. If nothing comes out, or if it drips after you close it, replace it immediately. The brand to buy is Watts L100 series. It's rated for 150 psi and 310 degrees Fahrenheit. Costs about $25. Cash Acme makes a good one too, about $20. Avoid Everbuilt, the house brand at Home Depot. I cut an Everbuilt T and P valve open once. The internal spring was thinner than the Watts. The temperature probe was shorter. The sealing surface was rougher. Those aren't cosmetic differences. Those are safety differences. A $25 valve tested once a year could save your life. The plumber won't test it for you. The manufacturer won't remind you. This is your job now. Do it. The sump pump test that prevents basement flooding. If you have a basement, you probably have a sump pump. That pump is the only thing standing between you and a basement full of water when it rains. Most people never test their sump pump until the day they need it. That day is always during a storm, when every hardware store is sold out of pumps and every plumber is booked solid for a week. Here's the secret trick. Test your sump pump every 3 months. Pour 5 gallons of water into the sump pit. The pump should kick on within a few seconds. Listen to it. Does it sound smooth or grinding? Does it pump the water out quickly or struggle? Does it shut off when the water level drops? If you don't have a sump pump or yours is old, the brand to buy is Zoller. Their M53 model is cast iron, not plastic like Wayne or Superior pumps. Cast iron dissipates heat better, lasts longer, and doesn't crack in freezing temperatures. The Zoller M53 costs about $150. A plastic Wayne pump costs about $100. That $50 is the difference between a pump that lasts 5 years and a pump that lasts 15 years. Zoller has been making pumps in Louisville, Kentucky since 1939. Their pumps have a one-piece cast iron housing, a stainless steel motor shaft, and a vortex impeller that won't clog. Wayne pumps have plastic housings that crack, and the impeller can jam on small debris. I've pulled dead Wayne pumps out of basements that were only 3 years old. I've pulled Zoller pumps that were 20 years old and still running. Here's the data. FEMA says basements with sump pumps are 70% less likely to flood than basements without them. But a pump that isn't tested is almost as useless as no pump at all. A 2021 study from the National Association of Home Inspectors found that 30% of sump pumps fail when first needed because they haven't been maintained or tested. 30%, almost 1 in 3. Pour 5 gallons of water into your pit right now. If nothing happens, you know what to do. The water pressure test that prevents everything. Here's the secret that connects all of these. High water pressure is the root cause of most plumbing disasters. It wears out washing machine hoses faster. It stresses water heater tanks. It causes pinhole leaks. It destroys T and P valves. It makes faucets drip. It shortens the life of every component in your plumbing system. Normal household water pressure runs between 50 and 75 psi, over 80 psi consistently, and you're in the danger zone. Over 100 psi, and you're actively destroying your plumbing every time you use water. The Plastic Pipe Institute found that pressure consistently above 80 psi accelerates wear across every residential plumbing component. A system running at 90 psi will fail in half the time as one running at 60 psi. Half the time. That means your 20-year water heater lasts 10 years. Your 10-year washing machine hoses last 5 years. Your 50-year copper pipes start pinhole leaking in 25 years. Here's the fix. Buy a Watts water pressure gauge. It screws onto any outdoor hose bib. $15. Turn on the hose bib fully. Read the gauge. If you're over 80 psi, you need a pressure-reducing valve. The brand is Watts or Cash Acme. A Watts 2 5 AUB. Z3 is the standard. It's adjustable from 25 to 75 psi. Has a built-in thermal expansion bypass and costs about $80 at any plumbing supply house. Installation by a plumber runs $250 to $400. That $400 is the best money you'll ever spend on your house because it protects everything. Your water heater, your washing machine, your dishwasher, your ice maker, your faucets, your pipes, everything. I tested my own pressure last year, 92 psi. I'd been running my whole plumbing system at 92 psi for 15 years. I had no idea. I installed a Watts PRV myself. Took about an hour, cost $80. Within a week, I noticed my faucets didn't drip anymore. My water heater was quieter. My washing machine filled more smoothly. And I stopped worrying about that pinhole leak that might be hiding in my wall. $15 for a gauge. 1 minute to test, $400 to fix, or $11,000 in average water damage when something finally fails. That's the math. That's the secret. That's the trick that could save your home. Do the meter test. Check your pressure. Test your T and P valve. Replace your washing machine hoses. Exercise your main shutoff. These aren't complicated. They're not expensive. They're just things nobody ever told you to do. Until now.